It's going to be absolutely amazing. I want you to be a part of a conversation with my brother, my friend and comrade at arms. He is now godfather, not of pizza, but of cheesesteaks all over America. I'm glad to have with me my brother, Derrick. Welcome. I'm glad to have you. I am just excited to have a front row seat to see what God can do in a regular person's life. It has been absolutely amazing. I've known you for 2 years. In the 2 years that I've known you, I got to clutch my chest like, wow, he did it for my guy. Let's talk about this last deal you just closed.
Well, I just did a 10-unit deal, my first deal when I first started franchising with Derrick Lewis.
Yes.
He was a Pepsi president.
Yep.
But the story behind Derrick Lewis was amazing because I was at a business assembly years ago. Richie Lou Dennis was my investor, and Derrick was he was doing a speech, and he was saying that he was a Pepsi president, and I'm like, oh, it's a brother up here, and I'm from Philly, and I sell Pepsi, and I sell a lot of Pepsi, mind you. This is important what I'm about to say. A lot of people don't realize that sometimes opening your mouth and speaking for what you think you deserve and how hard you work at something, somebody will hear you.
You're right.
So I was in the back of the room like, yo, I sell Pepsi, and I own Big Dave cheesesteaks. But needless to say, that brother was at my business 3-4 days later with his team trying to figure out how can he help me. And I thought that was amazing for him to stand up that way.
But what's the deal? You still ain't told the deal.
Hey, man, the deal is he putting 10 units in Orlando. 10 stores in Orlando, Florida.
Wow.
Yeah. And then I came right back after that with 5 stores that's going into South Carolina. So I sold 15 units my first month of franchising. So it's been an amazing journey.
He is being humble and understated. But that's 15 units of franchise stores of Dave Cheesesteak. Those of you that used to go to Subway, those of you that used to go to Fireman's, all of that is over.
Yes.
I'm telling you, the next sandwich connoisseur is the brother who's standing with me. Yes.
And now I have a total of 22 units. I mean, I got 7 on my own and then just closing these out. And then I got some more announcements coming as soon as we finish out these LOIs. Life has been good because, you can work so hard at just like waiting for people to clap for you. But see, with me, Dr. Bryant, I've been clapping for myself the whole time.
Listen.
I ain't been waiting for nobody to water my grass or water my soil. I've been doing it for myself. I only need a guide.
Nobody can hear the sound of an applause when you clap with one hand.
Oh, yes, they don't.
To be able to do that by yourself is absolutely amazing. They're not just drinking Pepsi. You got another deal.
Oh, nah. They're not just drinking Pepsi.
You got another deal.
Yeah, so I did a spares deal that's about to come out. I've been working on for about 8 months, going back and forth negotiating. And I can't wait to really put this one out there because it's going to show people that just because of how you start, it's not how you finish. Like, there's so many different arms to when it comes to Big Dave cheesesteaks that I'm involved in, when it comes from community to business to philanthropy work. All of those things are wrapped around a sandwich. So I made it bigger than food, and I just want the world to see, like, you can aim at something, but the target is much bigger when you work for it.
John Kennedy, former president, said anybody who has been a great success has had great failure. That you can never succeed unless you have failed at something.
I agree with that.
And a lot of people who are listening to you today, are watching today, hearing these multi-million-dollar deals, all of these franchises, but that ain't where your story starts.
Oh, no. Oh, no. Hey, we're going to be here a while.
Yeah, you to tell people your story.
Well, I just want to go all the way back. So I grew up in West Philadelphia.
Yeah.
2-parent household, mother and father, youngest sibling out of 3. I always thought I, knew it all. Was always that kid that was always out in the streets. But, for me, before I get to the rest of the story, I was my mother's biggest headache.
Wow.
Now I'm her biggest blessing.
Yeah.
I was the one that, was going to wind up, getting locked up or, was going to get in trouble. Let me tell you the sad part about this. In Philly, the violence is so bad, but when I was coming up, whenever the news was on, and my mother heard about, somebody getting shot or something, she would blow everybody up around me to try to get in touch with me to make sure it wasn't me.
Wow.
Yeah, so these are the type of things you don't realize growing up, but then when you become an adult and you got kids of your own and you sit there and you look back and you see the things, how my parents went upon with me to get me out of trouble, to keep me out of trouble.
Yes.
It was a blessing. So 1996, this was really like started my family with the South. My grandfather was a cement mason, and he's from Macon, Georgia.
Wow.
Yeah, and Roberta, Georgia. That's where my family from. They're from the South.
Yeah.
They just moved up north. But check this out. My grandfather moved to Philly when he was 13 years old on his own to go get a job. So if you look at the average 13-year-old right now,
Listen,
they ain't going to another state to go get a job.
No.
So it was
they
principles.
don't want to work in the summer.
It was principles and morals back then that was different. So like my grandfather went there and he went to go get a job, and then he wound up bringing my grandmother to Philly, and they wound up creating the family I have now. But
Yes.
before I was even thought about, my family has always been a family of hustlers, entrepreneurs, you know, just go-getters. And me growing up, I seen my father work every single day. He would come home, he worked with my grandfather. He would have like white stuff all over him every day from working in construction.
Yeah.
And I would always see these men just going out there and go get it and just, you know, taking care of their family. As I got older, I started to see they were working and not using this. So I wanted to do it differently. I wanted
Work
to use
smart
this.
and not hard. Yeah.
So in 2005, man, I you know, I hate to say it this way, but the devil just kind of, you know, came into my family, and he started wiping my family out from cancer.
Wow.
So my aunt, she was my oldest aunt from my grandmother. She died in 2005 to cancer. I ended up in Georgia because of her, because when I came here, I knew that she would be the one to stick with me. She was the cool aunt. You know,
Yeah.
you got that aunt that
Yes.
just like hip
Yes.
with you. So I fought cancer with her, man, just like as if I had it. I fought it with her for about a decade. And she finally went away from here in 2005. I'm this kid that come out the streets of Philly. I'm in this school now. I'm going to Clark Central High School in Athens, Georgia. I get shipped there in 2002 because I'm in the streets. I'm getting in trouble.
Right.
My parents got separated that year. So when I tell you I was getting hit all type of ways, so
Right.
now I'm looking at this family who we got this covenant, we all together, to us breaking apart now. And now when I'm in Athens, I'm trying to figure out, what is life here? There's no people walking around, there's no
Right.
buses, no trolleys. Like, I'm not used to this.
Right.
But I thank God every single day for him putting me in an environment I wasn't used to, because I only knew my neighborhood. I only knew the four walls of what was going on in my city. But when I got outside of that and I started going to school with different races and I started seeing how people was living, mind you, I'm catching a bus or walking to school. Down here, they 16 driving to school.
Right.
They ain't driving to school in Philly. We
Oh,
walking.
no, Baltimore either.
Yeah, we walking.
Yeah.
No matter how cold it is outside, we walking. So like, those things started to like gear me up, and I started to grow year to year to year. I had to go through this storm, Dr. Bryant, and then I wound up losing my aunt, my father right after that, and then my uncle, which is the baby brother. So imagine your grandmother, the kids that she brung in the world, go out in the same order they came in.
Wow.
Yes. So
was that your wake up call?
that was my wake up call, because it was like, you know what? Life is not the life that I think it is now. I have to adjust to what life really is.
Yeah.
So that's me standing on my own 10 toes. Like, before my father died, the blessing that I got from him was, I'll raise you to be a man to stand on your own 10 toes, and I raise you to be the person I think you should be. And I know you would be the one to break the generational curse, right? So imagine a man that you respected. This is the closest man I put to God in my life.
Yeah.
Right? This was my father, my best friend, my everything. And that got stripped from me. And the same year that got stripped from me, Dr. Bryant, is the same year I got injured. A lot of people don't know that. I walked away with 5 back operations, being in a personal injury accident the same year my father died. So
Good grief.
while I'm struggling, going through, losing my father, I'm now struggling with my health. I pinched the biggest nerve in your body. That's the sciatic nerve. That runs your legs, your everything. So for 5.5 years, I'm battling this thing, trying to learn how to walk again, getting my steps back right. I'm hooked on opiates. I'm still stressed about losing my father. And then 2014, I get an opportunity to say, you know what? I'm moving back south. This is important what I'm about to say. A lot of people don't realize that sometimes opening your mouth and speaking for what you think you deserve and how hard you work at something, somebody will hear you.
You're right.
So I was in the back of the room like, yo, I sell Pepsi and I own Big Dave cheesesteaks. But needless to say, that brother was at my business 3-4 days later with his team, trying to figure out how can he help me. And I thought that was amazing for him to stand up that way.
But what's the deal? You still ain't told the deal.
Hey, man, the deal is he putting 10 units in Orlando, 10 stores in Orlando, Florida.
Wow.
Yeah. And then I came right back after that with 5 stores that's going into South Carolina. So I sold 15 units my first month of franchising. So it's been an amazing journey. And that's what happened to me. So I spent the money in about 14 months. I spent 7 figures.
What was the dumbest financial decision you ever made? Dumbest thing you regret buying it?
The dumbest thing I did was the same day I got the money, I bought a Corvette cash.
Wow.
Same day I got it. I went and bought a Corvette cash money for I think it was 110, 115 when the Stingrays first came out.
Yeah.
Nobody in the city had it. I was the first one with it. They didn't even know what it was.
Right.
I remember going to compound and everybody coming down the parking lot like, what's that? And I'm like, it ain't out yet.
Yes.
But you don't understand that that's your fastest way to go broke. We can dream and jump off the cliff together and it's okay because you're going to share your parachute.
Right.
That's the way that we rocked from the beginning.
Yeah.
And my cousin, he had passed away 2 years ago. But he told me the day I left that meeting with her, it was about an hour over. He kicking my foot like, all right, we done eating.
Let's go on now.
Yeah. So I get in the car and he looks over at me. He says, that's going to be your wife.
Wow.
He said, I've never seen you really get in that deep with nobody you don't know. I said, I know her. I met her a long time ago.
Wow.
That's your fastest way to go broke. Because when you got $1 million and you take 200,000 out of it, you know what your mind gonna say? All right, I'm gonna replace this 200. I'm gonna add 800. Then you get to a $500,000, you say, all right, I gotta replace this $500,000, so I'm gonna make an investment. But that investment you make 9 times out of 10 is gonna put you even more of a hole. Because until you learn what you want to do with your life, the purpose. Yeah. Let's talk about the purpose of your life and why you're doing these things, you're gonna lose it. It took me to lose every single thing to learn my purpose, and my purpose was people.
Yes.
I seen people walk away from me. I seen people love me. I seen people get me back in shape. So when you're looking at somebody that was broken, the only way you're going to get fixed is if that you can get out your own way. And I had to start getting out my own way year to year, learning that these are my mistakes. These are things I got to learn from. And you're going to have those roller coaster rides. You're going to have them downfalls. Yeah. You want to fail because you don't want to be the person that you getting all your glory and all your glamour at something that you're not ready for, because on a higher scale, you're going to lose it right in front of everybody.
With a father deceased, aunt and uncle gone, are you coming up in an environment where is not that many examples? What was it inside of you that says there's got to be a different road for me?
To be honest, and I'm going to tell you a story, and you was part of it not even knowing that. And this happened this year. I was in your church, and Pinky was doing something with you, and you said something I'll never forget. It was almost like, don't be ashamed to let God be your biggest representative. Yeah. You know, a lot of people can talk about religion and pray, and then when they come publicly, they don't know how to be themselves because religion, it might not be cool to them or cool to somebody else. I started living in my own purpose of what's cool to me. Yeah. And that was God. It was me just putting my all into him and knowing that he going to help me take these footsteps. As long as I take the footstep forward, he going to make my left one come with me. A lot of leaders like you and just being a student, you know, because if you think you know everything in this game, you're going to lose. So I'll listen to the little kid who bake cakes or whatever. Just give me some game, something that you going through, so that if I haven't been through it, I can go and say, you know what? I'm going to take a different approach at that. And that's what I've been doing along this journey. You know, a lot of people in the beginning try to take advantage of me because, you know, I'm this kid coming out the streets. You got something special. You don't know what you really got. But let me tell you something about me. I play chess. I'll act stupid right in front of your face. I'll act stupid right in front of your face because it's the thing. I need to know if you really care about me or you're trying to take advantage of me.
And that's important.
Yeah. I
heard a mentor say to me, the sign of maturity is not what you say yes to, but what you say no to.
Wow. Let me tell you. You almost made me jump on my seat with that one.
Okay.
Because I just told that to a big organization today. I can't say it because I don't want no lawsuits.
No, I got it.
But I told them today, I said, it ain't about how many yeses you hear, it's about how many no's you hear. And today I'm telling you no.
Yes.
Because I don't say yes to everything to make Instagram posts. I can care less about that. When I post stuff, I want to really make you be impactful. I want you to really get impacted from it because it's real.
Yeah.
Because it's a back end to it and not just a front end.
In success, what has been the hardest thing you've had to say no to?
Money.
Woo.
Money.
Don't leave that there.
Money.
Tell me why? Because so many people are striving towards that, pushing towards that that's their only aim, their only goal. To say no to money is foreign to a lot of people in the community.
Yeah, because once you learn to say no to money, you learning to be real with yourself. It ain't about what's in the bank account. It's the people.
Yeah.
Every day these people support me. Every day they watching what I'm doing, my moves, helping me get through my dreams and my wills, my wants. But when you make the dollar sign your only target, it's nothing tangible with that. Because you can't take it with you.
Yes.
And it brings jealousy when you get it.
Yeah.
And the only thing that I could see that really made me wake up is the day that I knew that I was broke, right? Now check this out. My mind was rich, but my pockets was broke. From having that money, your lifestyle never changes because you like, oh, I'm about to go get this. I'm about to go do these things.
Right.
But the reality of it is you don't have it anymore. All you have is your word and yourself.
That's right.
So I lost everything. It's stripped from me. And the only thing that I told God that I could never been taken away from me is my soul. So my soul can't be bought.
Yeah.
The people buy me every day because they buying what I'm giving them and what I want to when I receive from them. But I'm not going to say, hey, give me $2 million and I'm going to do this thing. No, I'm doing everything off the will of my power and what I want to do.
No,
nobody is going to be able to buy me.
A lot of people have not had the opportunity. You did a session, I was in 2 of them, of coaching entrepreneurs, young black entrepreneurs, putting them in the right direction. What is the most reoccurring mistake that you see entrepreneurs make?
Rushing it, man. The patience is the capital. I mean, because
somebody got to write that down.
Yeah,
patience is capital.
Yeah, patience is the capital. I had to learn that because listen, we live in a very fast-paced world now, right?
Yeah.
Everybody want to go on social media and talk about what they got going on. They want people to applaud for them. They want people to do all of these things. But why am I clapping when you don't know the deal you got? Why are you clapping if you don't know the deal you got?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I had to learn that. Like, what are we really celebrating? Are we celebrating because I'm a black man and you gave me opportunity?
Right.
Or I'm celebrating that I got treated right because I worked hard for it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And there's a difference.
Yeah, it's a difference.
Yeah.
And I ain't the person that's just happy to just step my foot in the room if I belong there. If I belong there, then give me my chair.
No, I love it.
Yeah.
The Bible says that favor comes from finding a right woman. I'm a little bit older than you. There used to be a TV show called The Odd Couple. And it was 2 men who lived together who had absolutely nothing in common, but started living together and able to make life happen. Nobody in the world would think the king of cheesesteaks would marry the queen of vegetarianism. You became my brother-in-law because you married my sister.
Hey, man, and you know what's so good about that?
Yes.
Let me tell you what's so good about that is that things happen in mysterious ways and you never know why they happen, right?
Right.
So at the time, even before I even get to the relationship side, when I did meet you, right? So it's hard sometimes for somebody to grasp for something they can't understand because it's coming from the wrong mouth.
Wow.
Right?
Wow. That's good.
So when you start talking,
Yeah.
you bring a different belief back in me, not even knowing it, right?
Wow.
So with Pinky, it was like this. She reached out to me when the George Floyd riots happened. My downtown location, the windows got broken into, busted out. And she slid in my DM and said, hey, do you need any help? And I was like, I don't need no help. But I want to link up with you and let's see what we can work out and do some business together, right?
Yeah.
When I linked up with her, first of all, I never had vegan food in my life. I met her up with her at Sunflower Cafe. We sat there with my cousin Dame, God rest his soul. I was talking to her, and I'm like, damn, I feel like I'm talking to myself.
Wow.
I never had this attachment with not, because something can feel too good to be true, and you trying to put up all these walls.
Right.
I just let all my guard down and just really let God just take me there. But the moment I knew that she really, really, really was the one,
yeah,
we sat at her table, and she don't even know this what I'm about to tell you. We sat at her table in her apartment.
This is exclusive. Let's be clear. Y'all got to lean in on this.
You getting exclusiveness.
Yeah.
So
Thank you.
I sat at her table in her apartment, and we was on that blue couch with the sessions made about. We was on that blue couch.
Yes.
And she said to me, she said, what do you want to do to help the community? Let's come up with something cool, right? I said, it'd be cool if we can bail out some inmates, right? Do you know, it was like she had so many connections in her Rolodex. She's trying to call people just to get it done. And I was like, this is the person I need. I need somebody that would jump with me.
Right.
And not stop me from jumping.
Yeah. Michelle Obama in entertainment is Jay-Z and Beyonce, but we've not had a power couple in business.
No.
So what it is that you all are doing is really showing a whole nother frame. And I want you to really unpack, because on TikTok, Instagram, it's this whole thing on don't deal with nobody who don't bring nothing to the table. So somebody who is hungry, somebody who's a go-getter, what do you recommend to them, and what do they look for in finding a person who will be a partner, not just in life, but a partner in business? Because a lot of people just are hitchhikers.
Yeah, true.
And just want to be for the ride.
Sometimes you got to throw a little test out there and say you're broke and see if that person, but like if I was talking to you, if I didn't know you from a can of paint, if every day I woke up and I can link with you and your words deposit into my spiritual bank account, making me feel good as a person,
yes,
then you bringing something to the table. Because sometimes a lot of people look at it like this, like, what is that person physically doing to help me? Yes. Right? Sometimes picking up that phone and being able to talk to a realist, somebody telling you things that other people are not going to tell you, is that deposit they deposit into you. So for me, even with Pinky, it was like I had somebody that was like so real, so truthful, that was just ready to just like take over the world with me, like saying, listen, what we got to do these things that we want to do, and let's do them. Yeah. And I think that's what it takes for anybody in business, professionally, personally, somebody just to have that willpower to say, I know what you bring to the table because I know what you depositing, and everything don't have to be money. Yes. Sometimes even right now, I mean, it get a little lonely when you get a little lonely at the top. You know, it do. It get I don't have that many friends around me no more. But you know what? I had to set to side myself and say, you know what? God ain't bring me here to have 20 people hanging around me. Yeah. He brought me here to have millions and millions of people understanding who I am and what I'm going to deposit into them as a vessel. So my friends is the people I don't even know.
One writer said it's lonely at the top if you don't take anybody with you. Yeah. Come from Philly. Philly to me is the twin sister to Baltimore. It is. There's only 3 cities like it in the world: Philly, Baltimore, Detroit. They the same city. If you can make it in any of them 3,
you can make it there.
You can make it all in all 3. Philly, Baltimore, and Detroit is the exact same city. And one of the hardest things for guys who I grew up with, who I came through with, was hard realizing the guilty of association. Yep. And one of the hardest things you have to do as a success is have the cutoff game. We only have cutoff game with people we date.
Exactly. But think about but think about what I'm gonna tell you. It's what's not cool in our society we cut off. And sometimes we block in the biggest blessing that was going to take us to that next level doing it. When you're doing something that makes you uncomfortable, right? Think about how many people that could have been. You heard? I think Jada has said this a long time ago. It's a guy up north better than Jordan, but he didn't get that shot, right? Right. Because we get right there and it gets hard. But that's when God's saying, are you going to work for one more step for what I'm trying to give you so that you can understand the blessing? Yeah. Sometimes we in it, we make money, we do things, but we don't really understand the blessing because we're getting so many of them. Well, I had to sit back and had to understand my blessings and say, you know what? Because we all do this. We'll sit and have 1 million blessings come our way. Yeah. And then the one thing that don't happen for you, you will say, God, why? Or how can I do something different, God, to get this blessing? But you ain't thinking about the 1 million other blessings he gave you. Yes. You know what I'm saying? Like, for me, the session is so important to me because I go on these segments, right? And then I'll see somebody that need help, that need